Perfect.
All right, thank you. And really quickly, we will just go around and have our exec team give introductions for anybody who doesn't know us, didn't attend a meeting in the past. So I am Kelly Voyages, and I am the president of the FA this year. And we'll head over to, how about you, Jill?
Hi, I'm Jill Jordan Spitz. I'm secretary, and I have a son who's a junior.
Tanis?
I'm Tanis Thuin. I have two sons, a ninth grader and a sixth grader. I'm the volunteer coordinator.
Hi, I'm Josie. I'm the vice president, and I have a 10th grader.
Is it me? I'm Margaret. I'm the treasurer this year, and I have two sons, one in 6th and one in 9th.
Great, thank you. And thank you to everybody who has joined us this evening. We appreciate you. We're just gonna do a few thank yous quickly, and then we'll jump into some business. We've got some great folks coming at the end of the meeting, second half of the meeting, to share information about things that are happening at school. So I just want to thank all of the class representatives who have organized grade level back to school activities. There were some that had happened before our last meeting, but then there were some more that happened since our last meeting. So I want to thank folks, anybody who's on here, for organizing those. And of course, anybody who hasn't done that, feel free to do that anytime throughout the year. And if you have any questions, just let us know. We'd also like to thank our lunchtime volunteers who keep showing up on Tuesdays to support our teachers. Tanis will talk a little bit more about that later, but I want to thank people who have been showing up so far. And I also want to thank our homecoming volunteers, and who did a fabulous job sweating it out with us. And I want to thank our homecoming chair, Christina Grossman, for planning ahead and staying on budget and managing so many moving pieces. And she wanted to share a few words, so I'm just going to give her a minute right now to do that, and then we'll move into the rest of our business. Christina?
All right, so to stay within the time, I'm just reading this out because there's so much to say thank you for. So after my first year of being the Homecoming Festival chair, I really have a deeper appreciation for everyone at the Gregory School. It is not a surprise of the level of dedication of everyone there, but there's a lot of work that goes into this wonderful event to bring our community together. It is truly a privilege to be part of the TGS community, especially with the families. So thank you to each and every one of you who volunteered. We could not have done this without all of you. I'm also proud of the students showing up during the weekends to decorate or to take down the decorations. They really took ownership of decorating their campus, and they put such pride in their work. I'm greatly and deeply proud of just the talent that the students presented with their ideas for their booths at the festival. And it was amazingly well for homecoming that our athletes did. They knocked it out on Friday as well. We want to thank our sponsors for the Homecoming Festival. We want to thank Sabino Dental, the Gregory School Family Association, the Gregory School Annual Fund, the Gregory School Board of Trustees, and our food truck vendors, Kona Ice and Bella's Gelato. And a huge thank you to Chef Noelle and her team. Grilling everything fresh for us in the heat was not an easy task. And they did this in Glow Coast spirit, which was a fantastic Stuco theme this year. So thank you, Stuco. It is really an amazing experience to be able to be a part of this. And I think it was a huge success, just bringing all the families together, including alumni. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Christina. So first, before we jump into other things for tonight, we need to approve our September meeting minutes. There was a link included in the email with the Zoom link. And if somebody could maybe share that to chat as well, in case people didn't see that.
Shared that to chat and the agenda for this evening.
Awesome, thank you very much. If we could have somebody to move to approve those minutes?
I'll move to approve.
Thank you, Josie. And somebody to second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Christina. Okay. We're going to go ahead and give Margaret the floor now as our treasurer. She'll give us a budget report.
Hi, folks. Sorry, I'm in like a dark cave for some reason, so I hope that it's not too disturbing for you. But we have some good news on the budget front. Christina ran an extremely economical homecoming, so kudos to her. We are still waiting for a few things that are outstanding, but it really looks like we are on track to be very close to a break-even point. Our whole affair cost us roughly $8,000 and we brought in maybe just shy of that. So we're really exactly where we want to be. That's sort of what we always plan for. Just as a reminder, homecoming is not a fundraising event for the FA. This is an event that we throw for the community. So all of those ticket sales go right into the actual costs that we have to run the event. So great job to Christina and to everyone for really pulling off an excellently fiscally responsible homecoming. I think that's about it for me, Kelly, unless there's anything else you want me to remark on.
No, I was just leaving it there for you to share anything further, but
Yeah.
we haven't had a lot of other budget
That's right. This
activities
has
yet.
been our big, our major expense thus far. So, and just as a general reminder, to anyone like grade level reps or anybody like that, anything that you have for reimbursement, our reimbursement procedure is in our mailbox, which is in Zuskin Hall. We have a folder in there that has a form to fill out. So if any of you are in need of reimbursement, that's where to go. And you can always email me or email the FA with any questions about that kind of stuff. I'm happy to help you.
Great, thank you. So we've already had a lot happening this year and there is plenty more coming up. What I'd like to do is hand this over to Tanis to talk about our lunch volunteer program and staff appreciation.
Yes, hello. I talked a little bit about this last time. I just wanted to talk about it again. It's in an effort to support our faculty and teachers on property. On Tuesdays, they have an all faculty meeting on property from 11:15 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We're looking for volunteers to hang out on the middle school side and in the library, interacting with kids, the teachers that are walking by. I did it one day and I had a blast. If you're interested in doing this, please send me an email. I just put my email in the chat. You will need to get a fingerprint clearance card. And if you already have one, you could submit that to Mary Babbitt in the office. Is that correct? To Mary?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So please let me know. We have a sign up genius. So you don't have to commit like, oh, every Tuesday I'm going to be there. But if there's a Tuesday that you're free and you want to help out, then you can sign up. And then you can sign up if you want to be on the middle school side or in the library, and that would help out greatly.
Tanis, can I clarify? You mentioned that if you have a fingerprint card, bring it to the office. If you don't have a fingerprint card, do you need to get one yourself?
Yeah, well, does Mary Babbitt help with that process, Kelly?
I believe, is it Allison?
No, it's Mary.
I don't help with I don't help with the process, but I know the process. Mary Babbitt does help. It's actually, she'll help get a background check for those people who don't have a fingerprint card.
Yeah. So I think reaching out to her, if you email me, then I'll give you all the information. I have a little email with kind of the specifics. Also, I wanted to bring up, there's a lot of staff in here, so I don't want to kind of ruin it, but they kind of know the deal. We have a staff appreciation every year. And we're kind of looking for someone to kind of head that out or kind of take that on. What that would entail is really just doing a sign up genius, collecting items and making sure that the shelves and the admin lunchroom is all stocked for that week. If you're interested, again, reach out to me and then I can tell you more in detail kind of what that entails. And that's all I have for volunteering. Thank you all who volunteered for homecoming, for coming into the library, for going over to the middle school. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, Tanis. And speaking of staff appreciation, we do have a big staff appreciation event coming up in November. Not something that this person that Tanis was just looking for would need to head up, because we have committee chairs specifically dedicated to this event, and that is the farmers market. So I know Michelle was going to be running late, but Sabrina is on here. So I wanted to give you a chance, Sabrina, to share a little bit about the farmers market.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. For anyone who doesn't know, the farmers market is an amazing happening every year right before Thanksgiving. It's a wonderful way to show our appreciation for the faculty and staff at TGS. And Tuesday, it'll be this year, Tuesday, November 26th. And that is Friends and Family Day, I believe, as well. So there's lots of fun stuff going on campus that day. And what we'll do is we'll have signups that will go out later in October, I think, maybe. I can't remember exactly what time we sent them out last year, but we'll have signups available for people to sign up to volunteer to help with the event and also to donate food. And so what we do is we collect all sorts of different kinds of food and pies and little gifts and things like that. And we set up basically an open air farmers market where every member of the staff and faculty can come and shop for free for their own families, for their own Thanksgiving celebrations. And it's a really wonderful event. I love co-chairing it because it's just really gratifying to see all the donations that come in and all the love that's expressed for our amazing faculty and staff here at TGS. So again, there will be signups that will be coming out in the next probably few weeks, and so watch out for those and come out and help or make donations, and we can show our appreciation for this amazing crew we've got here.
Great.
I see there's a question, what time will it be? It's in the morning on that Tuesday. So yeah, and I think it usually runs all morning so that staff, because what happens is that the teachers will have, usually they'll have one class and then they'll have a free period that they can come and shop. So we're.
Will you receive produce donations?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. And we'll have the signups will have specifics as far as when we're going to collect donations, because obviously the timing is an issue with things like that are perishable. And last year we were able to use some refrigerator space through Sage, which was very helpful so that we could get things a little bit ahead of time. But there'll be details about all of that in the signups.
Yes, we'll have sign up slots for people to volunteer, as well as all of the items.
Mhm.
And I think last year was the first year, Sabrina, we moved the time. We opened just a little bit earlier to
We did.
accommodate staff. So we probably want to do that again this year, I would think, unless we hear otherwise from folks.
Yeah, I think it worked well. The other thing that people might be interested to know is that if you want to donate money, that will be an option too. And what happens is that myself and the other co-chair, we take some of those funds and we've been going to World Market, which is an amazing place to get all sorts of wonderful little gifts. So we have lots of fabulous gifts for the staff and faculty to choose from as well. So.
Yes. If somebody doesn't want to have to go shop. Was there a question? Okay, yeah, if somebody doesn't want to do the shopping themselves, they can definitely drop off a check at the office, and then our chairs, Sabrina and Michelle, will do the shopping for you. Thank you, Sabrina. And yes, we'll get that sign up out end of October, maybe because it's going to be a little bit later in November, that first week of November. But we'll get it out by the beginning of November. All right. Thank you very much, Sabrina. Okay, so we've got performing arts on our agenda next. And I think we've got several people who will be talking about performing arts. So if we have Maggie, are you on here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Maggie, would you like to go ahead and give us an update, share what's going on with band and orchestra?
Sure. November 13th, the band has a concert. November 14th, the orchestra has a concert. And then the advanced band is going to perform the 26th on Family Day. And then we've got the performance at La Encantada on December 12th. I'm not sure if that's jazz band or it might just be whatever members show up. And then we've got the Disney trip that we're trying to raise money for in March. And I'm reaching out to a couple restaurants to see about the sponsored dinner things that we can set up.
Okay, all right. And we can have some more conversations about that, Maggie, too, offline.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you. That's a lot of dates for people to keep track of, and I'm sure there will be more details in the newsletter as well. So thank you very much, but that's coming up pretty quickly.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thanks, Maggie. And Fernanda, you were gonna,
That's
I don't know
me.
if Fernanda's on here? You are here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey.
Sorry, I was
Okay.
trying to figure out how to change my name, but I haven't figured it out.
That's okay.
So I'm Fernanda, and I am working with the performance arts, Miss Bodden and Miss Heald. And there's a play coming up on the 24th and 25th on Thursday from 6:30 to 7:15. And they asked for 3 things that should not be too hard. One is a case of water for the green room, treats and treats for the lobby for before the show and intermission, and 1 adult each night to help with the box office. So I guess I have a question about, I can definitely do the sign up Genie for or Genius, the sign up website to help with figuring out 2 adults. But can you use, like, can we use other funds for the treats and for the water? How does that work?
We can talk about that and we can help you set up the Sign Up Genius. In fact, Josie can set up the Sign Up Genius for you. So, and then what we will do for the rest of you folks is we will make sure that anybody who's involved in the performing arts, we're going to try and target you folks to send the Sign Up Genius out to. And if there's anybody on here online tonight who would want to make sure that they get a copy of that sign up to help support the performances, and that's As You Like It on October 24th and 25th, then go ahead and put your email in the chat or send us an email at fa@gregoryschool.org, and then we can make sure that you get on that list to get the sign up. And then Fernando, we can talk more in detail offline on how we get all those details set up.
Yes, that's great. And I wanted to say Tennis already has sent me another list of parents who have said that maybe they were at the beginning of the year. So this is really
Yes.
going to be great.
Okay, and I see one, Lisa, thank you. Yes, the list that we gave you were folks, for those of you who remember at registration, you signed up for areas that you might be interested in helping out. So if you get an email, but you didn't give us your email tonight, you'll know why. You probably gave it to us at the beginning of the year. So, and if you are not prepared to sign up to volunteer or anything on those nights, you can certainly still go to the store, the Gregory store, and purchase tickets to attend and enjoy those performances, because that's important too. So make sure you get your tickets. We covered it all, Fernanda?
Yes, yes. I just have one more question. So somebody else is figuring out these names, or am I supposed to be, I can see it in the chat line. Should I be writing them down or is somebody else going to do it?
Yeah, I think
I
you
think we
should
got-
write it down.
Me?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
those are
Got
people
it.
who want to help for sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. I just wasn't sure.
Okay. And have you got this, Fernanda? You see there's 2 there? Okay, great. All right. And anybody else, feel free to email us at that fa@gregoryschool.org email. All right. Well, thank you. And now we've got Christina, who was going to share about a choir performance that's upcoming.
Yes. So Dr. Fresalone, as many of you know, is one of our music instructors at TGS. He is also the director of music at St. Michael and All Angels Church. And so what he's doing is really a collaboration between the St. Michael's community and the Gregory School, because we have so many families who transition from St. Michael's to the Gregory School. And for this concert that he's organizing, it's November 3rd. It is open to the public. There is no cost, of course, and it is at 3 p.m. at the St. Michael's. There, it's on 602 North Wilmot between Speedway and Broadway. And this piece that he is focusing on is by Gabriel Fauré, sorry, and it's Requiem. My son and I are part of who is going to be singing in that concert, and it's amazing. There's so many people. There's people from the St. Michael's community. There are students from Marana. There are students from the TGS choir, and some will be also playing their instruments. We have so much talent that's going to be featured there on November 3rd. And so he really wanted me to speak about that. So I hope all are welcome, and I hope all can attend.
Great. Thank you, Christina. All right. Last, our athletics committee chair could not be here tonight. She was attending a volleyball game, and our athletics department head was at that same game coaching. So I'm going to read a little report from those folks regarding athletics to give you a quick update, let you know what's happening and how you can get more involved if you like. The first note that I'd like to share is that after interim week, fall sports only have 1 or 2 weeks left in their season. So they were encouraging you to take a look at the athletics calendar and wherever you could to come out and support them. You can also follow on Instagram at hawk.flock for some posts about the teams. So if you folks would put that in chat so people can see it, I would appreciate it. Updates on some of the teams. Girls volleyball team is currently 9-2 and is ranked 10th in the state. The upper school chess team just made it to the state tournament in their first year as an AIA sport. We've got 2 swimmers already qualifying for the state meet. And our middle school sports teams will start their A-team tournaments on October 21st with details to come. If you want to register for winter sports, which includes upper school wrestling, upper school boys and girls basketball, middle school co-ed soccer, and middle school girls softball, you can go to the store, which is that same link that we put on there for the play tickets, and you can register for winter sports. And then lastly, Coach E wanted me to remind you that there is the Hawk Walk and Talk on Wednesday mornings. They meet on the middle school field from 7:45 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. every Wednesday that there is school. So next week, there will not be a Hawk Walk and Talk. But after that, each Wednesday when there is school, there will be a meetup. And they said that they might push the time just a little bit later as it gets colder. And I think that's everything for athletics.
Kelly, is the walk and talk for students or parents or both or anyone?
That I believe is for everyone, and you just have to show up. It's not something that you have to sign up for. So, and my understanding is that it's for parents and students as well. All right. So I think that's all of our committees. Let me know if I've missed any committee chairs. I'd like to let any class representatives who are on here have a minute if they have something they want to share that's happening in their grade. So just speak up if you are here and want to share. Or not. All right. So last, before we get to our speakers, I'm going to hand it back over to Margaret to talk about the parent discussion group that we have been talking about getting off the ground.
Great. Yes, so some of you might remember that we've been sort of floating this idea of putting together a kind of parent discussion group, kind of like a book club, although not necessarily a book. We could have topics or articles or maybe books that we might center a discussion around. And thank you to those of you who have been in touch with the FA to say that you're interested in such a thing. And we welcome anyone else who might be interested. What we thought we would do is have a Zoom meeting next week during interim week. Some of you might have kids out and about, so we thought maybe it was a good time. We will have a Zoom meeting on Tuesday, the 15th. At 6:00 p.m. the same time. And at that meeting, we can sort of feel out everyone who's interested about their sort of logistics. Do we want to meet on Zoom? Do we want to meet in person? What are there days of the week that are better? You know, those sorts of things. And if we can come up with something that the majority of folks, you know, sounds good to them, then we can set up our first meeting and jump in. I've had a few suggestions from people with some ideas for topics or books or things to talk about. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, several people have mentioned maybe starting with the book, The Anxious Generation, because it kind of made a lot of splash and a lot of people maybe are familiar with it. But those are all things that we will talk about on Tuesday the 15th at our planning meeting. And I think, did someone just ask a question? What are we calling this? Right, I don't know. We can talk about maybe a name. So far, I've been just sort of referring to it as a parent discussion group, but we certainly can come up with something a little bit more streamlined if folks have ideas for that. I guess that's really all that I have to say at this meeting. Basically, if you're interested, if you know folks who are interested, please try to join us for the Zoom next week. We will send out the reminders for that and the link for that sort of through our normal FA channels. If you can't make that Zoom but are interested, you can also email the FA to say that, and I will kind of compile all those folks and keep everyone in the loop. But really, it seems like we have a nice group so far of folks who have said they're interested, and I think it could be really nice for parents, I think, to have a place to get together and to talk about things that are important to us. So I hope to see many of you on the Zoom next week and in the meetings that follow.
Great, thank you. And anybody who's on here who hasn't emailed yet with interest, feel free to email us tonight. Well, anytime, obviously, but just feel free to email the FA and we'll include you in that Zoom link. All right, so I think we've worked through all of our committees. I want to thank everybody who has shared about various things going on at school. And we're gonna bring, I think I saw Cece, right? I saw Cece here. Hello, Cece. Representing the Board of Trustees. She's our president of the Board of Trustees and here to give a board update. And I'm going to hand it over to you.
Hello. There was a hand up. I don't know if Sally needed to say something. She put it down, but.
Hi. So last year we were talking with De Benedetti about something that had to do with internet. We also wanted to really try and get the community together. And it almost sounds like kind of like this book club and everything would really just kind of really coincide with that beautifully. We were looking at a name that was something along the lines of like parents who care, or like a community that cares, something along those lines. So that might be something that we could maybe kind of brand to push forward. I don't know.
Thanks, Sally. We have also been thinking of that discussion that you guys had last year about that. So we haven't forgotten you, and I agree. I think there could be some nice kind of tie-ins there. So I love that. And maybe you can make the meeting next week and we can talk more, but thanks for mentioning that.
Thanks, Sally. And thanks for catching that, Cece.
Sure. So do you want me to just jump in?
Please do. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Cece Alter. I am the president of the Board of Trustees this year. And I want to thank Kelly for inviting the board to give an update to the FA. The board can kind of seem like a mysterious body of people who just kind of work behind the scenes and do stuff that you don't really know what we're doing. So it's a nice opportunity for me to just give you a quick update. There's not a whole lot that's super exciting for the Family Association to know, but we are really working diligently behind the scenes. One of the things that actually was kind of out in the open that hopefully all of you had a chance to participate in was our search committee efforts to bring in a new head of school. So how many of you were able to participate in some of those family forums? Anyway, okay. Perfect. Well, we want to thank you all for participating and providing your feedback on the candidates who came to campus. I can report that the search committee made a recommendation to the board on a head of school candidate. The board has made an offer, but as of this time, that's all that I can tell you. We have a lot of work to do behind the scenes. If any of you are involved in hiring at your jobs, you know that there's a lot of work that goes on that nobody else sees. So we're kind of in that process of working with our candidates and our search consultant to finalize some things. And once we are ready, which we think will be very soon, we will make a full announcement to our TGS community and let you know who our new head of school will be. Other than that, the board is really focused this year on preparing sort of the strategic vision and the goals in preparation for a new head of school to come on board. So we want to be able to have a clear picture of where the school is headed and what we think are the priorities, so that when a new head does arrive, that person can hit the ground running and will be ready to just kind of take the reins and start working with our amazing faculty and our admin staff and the rest of the board as we go. So our board committees are working very hard behind the scenes to set some goals and get together our strategic vision so that when the new head arrives, we'll be ready for that. So at this point, that is my report, and I'm happy to take any questions if anybody has any.
I don't have a question, Cece, but I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who was on the head of school search committee. I know how much work it was, especially coming after last year also. So just thanks so much to everyone who worked hard at that. And I know we all are looking forward to seeing the results.
I know everybody is anxious to know what's going to be happening in the coming year. Our search committee, and Kelly, your president at the FA, was part of that search committee, and I see Beth Kane on here as well. The search committee was really fantastic and did a lot of work behind the scenes. And Margaret, thank you so much for hosting our candidate spouses while they were here. So it was a team effort, definitely, and we're just really grateful to everybody's participation, and we just can't wait to make an announcement as soon as we're ready.
Thank you, Cece. All right, I would like to hand it over for a few minutes to our interim head of school, Amy Seeger, to give a state of the school update.
Thank you, Kelly. And I would just second, what Margaret has just said about the search committee's efforts. It is a sometimes daunting task to take on 4 candidates that were all very well qualified and making really difficult decisions. And so, kudos to them. And this is a really good process for a school, hard, but a good process for the school to go through. So I know everyone's looking forward to hearing about who the new person will be. And they're very fortunate. I can tell you that the next head is going to be so happy at TGS. So it's an exciting time for the school. So congratulations on that. I wanted to also thank the homecoming committee. That was, of course, the first time that I had seen homecoming at TGS. And I can see why it's such a wonderful tradition for the school, that students were so happy. Lots of alumni were there that night. And it was just a great night, not to mention that we had great wins from our teams. So that was just extra for us. So again, thank you. I know it was hot and everyone worked really hard. So thank you for all those efforts. And the other thing, I'll just give you a little bit of an update. The annual fund has done really well. And thank you all for your participation there. We kicked off the campaign at Spirit Week for Homecoming Week, and we are a little bit north of $90,000, which is ahead of where we were at this point last year, and Homecoming was later. So we're really excited about that and look forward to the rest of this campaign. So thank you for everyone that's participated there. Admission season is on us, and we are welcoming prospective students and families to the school. And I would just encourage you, if you have friends or family members that are interested in the Gregory School, to please let either me or Lisa Condrat or Barb Lundberg know about that. And we are happy to give them a call. So if you want to share emails and names with us, you know, we can reach out to those families, and word of mouth is the best marketing possible for admissions. So we're really grateful for all of you recommending the school to your friends. And then interim week, I think everyone knows that that's next week, but what I didn't know, and some of you may, this may be just kind of a repeat, but I just thought it might be a little interesting just to know where everyone goes if you didn't know that. And so I found this whole travel week really fascinating, and the opportunities that your children get to have are really special. So, you know, fifth grade will be on campus, and they do that Oregon Trail experience, and with lots of really enriching activities. Sixth grade does their interim week is called Beyond the Horizon, and they'll have a couple of really exciting things. I'm going to join them for some of those trips. The Biosphere 2, the Pima Air Museum. They kind of tie up the week with at the Roadhouse Cinema seeing Apollo 12. The seventh grade has Restaurant Wars, and they'll actually learn to prepare some meals. They'll serve their families. They'll eat out at some nice places, and they'll have another group within that Restaurant Wars will be recording all of this, so you'll get a chance to see this later. So that is exciting. Eighth grade does a camp and service opportunity called Building Community, and they'll travel to Friendly Pines Camp in Prescott and have a couple of nights there, and then have an iFly experience on their way back. So ninth grade theirs is called Active in Northern Arizona, and they'll participate in an outdoor focused adventure and visit Flagstaff Extreme and kayak down the Verde River, Canyon Coaster Adventure. I really wish I had been a student at TGS. 10th grade goes to New Mexico, and they will explore national parks and monuments. 11th grade goes to San Diego. Again, a little envious of them. They have a great trip planned. And the seniors have a Disneyland and Universal Studios trip. So everyone is very excited. Seniors actually leave on Sunday rather than Monday, and they'll be back Wednesday and have Thursday and Friday for some college visits if they choose. So I know some of you will be empty nesters next week with your children gone. So I know that can be kind of a mixed bag too, with being excited about that or a little anxious. So I hope that you'll enjoy that time as well. But we have, I would say that things are busy, but they're always busy. So again, we appreciate everyone's support of the school, and just everything that the Family Association does for us is really valued. So thank you for that. Any questions?
Amy. Any questions? Thank you so much for that, Amy.
Sure.
All right. And last, but certainly not least, we have Beth Kane and Katie Peterson Snyder here to talk about Friday explorations. So I'm going to let them take it away. And I think I'll let Tanis do some screen sharing with Beth and let you guys run with it.
Yep, I made her co-host, so she should be able to screen share.
All right, we'll see if that works then. Thank you, Tanis. Thank you, Kelly. So I'm Beth Kane, and I am the 8th grade English teacher at TGS. I've had many of your children in my class. It's been a joy. I'm also teaching a section of 6th grade literacy skills this year. And joining me is Katie Peterson Snyder, who teaches 6th grade English and also 6th grade literacy skills. And Katie serves as our exploration director. You're going to hear from her in just a moment. And I'm serving as your exploration advisor. We're going to kind of explain what those positions are. But first, I am going to share my screen because I want to show you these amazing pictures that Katie has put together for us that show what a great program we have right now with our explorations. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. So you can see these wonderful children that are having a great time in explorations. And our exploration program is 10 years old. It's, you're familiar with it. It's a great way for students to experience some project-based learning on Fridays, to have student agency and choice in what they can do, something that they can dive into. But there have been some changes recently. So we're here tonight to talk about some of those changes and just address any questions that you might have and just show you how excited we are about where we're going with the exploration program. So first of all, I just have to say that the changes originated in the EE4 grant that Dr. Cheryl wrote and presented, and our school was awarded a significantly large amount of money to enhance the exploration program. So I'm just going to show you some of the verbiage from the grant, and you'll realize that this is what explorations are about, to help students explore their passions, to help them invest in their future, to give them greater potential, to further their education, to have a vision. And so part of that grant was fulfilling 3 different requirements. The first being that we create a library of explorations, which can be a shareable resource. And this again is verbiage from the grant that Dr. Cheryl has written. We have created that library of exploration. So all of your students have access to that in their Google Classroom, in their advisory class. And this library includes all of the explorations that have been created by teachers in the last year and this year. They're organized by pathway. The pathways are arts, humanities, STEM, and wellness. And it's a great resource for students to browse and to see what might be offered next. What is something that excites their passion? What is something that's been offered in the past that might be offered again in the future? And the plan is to continue to add to this library, this catalog of explorations, so that someday perhaps it can be shared with other school communities. Also, we're looking at another part of the grant was written to explore professional development so that teachers can learn how to hone student skills in selecting explorations. That's part of what I'm doing as the exploration advisor. I'm helping advisors to talk to students about being intentional about what they are choosing for their explorations, something that can actually promote their learning and help create something that will be a significant part of what they show to colleges in the future. And then the third part of the stipulation of the grant is the exploration portfolio. This is where students can tell the story of their own learning. And so that's another piece that I'm involved with. I'm working with freshmen and sophomores this year to help them tell the story of what they have been doing as high school students. We are planning to move this down into the middle school as well and have students create portfolios all the way through their middle school career and into their upper school career. So this one can show that their Exploration Friday is a significant part of their education at the Gregory School and part of their experience that they can show and treasure and also advertise themselves to colleges in the future, showing what they've learned in that 20% of their time that they've spent at the Gregory School. So these are the 3 key proposals that are part of the grant that we're working to fulfill this year. And this may be where you're seeing a lot of changes, perhaps in your students' experience with explorations. But I also wanted you to know that this is the foundation that Dr. Cheryl has set up and that Katie Peterson Snyder and I have worked to try to create to fulfill the requirements of the grant and to also make the exploration experience, as the title of the grant says, an evolving, a formalizing, and a sharing of Friday explorations that we can present to other campuses and other schools perhaps someday. So I'm going to turn this over to Katie, and moving on, she's going to tell you a little bit about some of the highlights of our explorations that we have experienced in the last few months.
Thanks so much, Beth. So I just took some pictures and interviewed some students. This was one day of explorations. And again, we're really focusing on the E1 and E2 explorations in this discussion. Those are those extended multi-week explorations. They last 4 weeks. So you will see here on my left side, I think it's on your left side of the screen, we have some upper school students in the Principles of Leadership exploration, and they combine student council students with just students that are interested in participating and sharing ideas in this exploration. So one of the values was interacting with, people from other viewpoints, and how do the kids who experience our STUCO activities feel about them? Let's get some of their ideas. So a lot of collaboration happening in that exploration. We have these 2 girls in the Fab Lab. When asked why they wanted to do this exploration, they shared that they wanted to learn something new. And one said, I can use this skill in the future. Maybe I can create organizing boxes. So there's some plans in the future for that one. If you go down to the bottom, this is Fix It, Build It. So they repair things on campus, and the skill they're learning is making things, basic craft working, and almost every kiddo who takes it wants to take Fix It, Build It again. It's a great opportunity for hands-on, unique skill building. Up in the top corner, we have Max here, who just said, look at how I made this candy dispenser on the computer, and now it's being created right here in this Fab Lab technology. So he was definitely excited to share his learning. And then down on the bottom, this is penmanship with Dan Young. So these kiddos came in wanting to, maybe hone their nice cursive handwriting skills, and discovered that, wow, there's a lot more to this process. My awareness has improved, my posture has improved, this takes like coordination of all of my hand movements and my arm, my back. And so there's this, just intentional level of skill building, even in something that seems as simple as penmanship. So those are some fun highlights. I have another slide, bear with me. Should we go? Okay, yes. Oh, should we skip that slide, Beth? Oh, here we go. Okay, so then you have the Italian cooking. All right, if you haven't heard about the Italian cooking with Mr. Carlson, you will at some point. These are upper school students who learned how to create beautiful, authentic Italian food. They learned about the geography and where the food comes from. Someone said, I actually like risotto. I didn't know I could eat mushrooms. And really, Mr. Carlson says, everyone should know how to cook at least one meal, truly cook a meal from start to finish for the people they love. So that's his intention with sharing that skill. And then you see these 2 middle school students in this tessellate and translate exploration. They said, well, we learned how to tessellate and translate. And I said, well, what does that mean? To rotate around the X and Y axis. So you learned something new if you didn't know that. On the bottom, you will see these 2 kiddos doing an engineering and design exploration. One of them said, I learned communication is the key. And the second kiddo was like, I researched the strongest shape. It is a triangle, and their tower was getting even taller as I left the room. On the far right, you see some people in the needlework stitching exploration. They just shared they wanted to learn this skill, something they can do in their free time. One of them mentioned, well, maybe I do this instead of, being on my phone. This is something that's soothing and relaxing to me. It's a hobby that I would like to hone this skill. And then down here at the bottom, you'll see this mural or not, here we come. These are fabulous explorations that Mr. Crone always puts together. And it's just a collaborative mural art experience. And they're in this picture working on finishing it up. And I believe he is working this 4-week session on placement of where that's going to go. So all really unique and different, but you'll notice that it's all skill building. It's all related to developing some unique skill. That said, we all know that explorations have a lot of wonderful pieces. We also have faced a pretty significant challenge that I imagine your children have expressed to you related to the technology piece this year. What happened was, to meet the goal of streamlining the choice system in signing up in PowerSchool, a new program was developed. And the intention was to create a choice system for our multi-week sessions and continue with the first come, first served choices for the afternoon singleton sessions that just happen once, and then they go do a different one the next week. Unfortunately, there were some glitches that were not anticipated in this redesign, and it impacted the sign-up process. So the first come, first served method for the afternoon explorations was eliminated. It does not exist in PowerSchool right now. Along with that comes this a little bit, I know this is a little confusing for at least middle school students, 2 dates, right? So the E1 and E2 explorations that are multi-week, and the E3 and E4 explorations that are singletons that happen in the afternoon, they had to be divided in half in order to let the students sign up for the morning sessions one time in a month, and then the afternoon sessions every single Friday. When we divided those days up in half, PowerSchool would not let us keep the same date. So the E1 and E2 sessions show up as a day later, as an assigned day later, so that the kids can just sign up for those once, and the E3 and E4s are a date before. So we just say E1s and E2s are your morning Fridays, E3s and E4s are your afternoon Fridays. They are named differently to trick PowerSchool right now. Okay, so those are the 2 issues you might have heard coming home. Our plans for the future. We do have a technology fix in process. The person that coded and crafted and created this new program was a consultant, and they are no longer available, or they kind of dropped out of the process, and we can't get them back on to fix these bugs that have occurred. So right now, Andre is working with a new consultant to recreate that first come, first serve process of signing up and choosing the singleton explorations. And when they fix this piece, it will take care of the date confusion as well. I hope that makes sense. So basically, we know the technology needs to be fixed. We're in the process. It's apparently just a very slow, time-consuming process involving coding and understanding how this previous program was coded. So there's just pieces that need to work on with that. And I know Dr. Cheryl can speak to that more because she's been in conversations with Andre and this new consultant. What we're going to continue doing, which we hope that this is good news for you, is we are going to continue offering that multi-week in-depth exploration morning sessions. These are highlighted in that online catalog that your students can show you. And it is based on student choice. So students do make 3 choices. They get one of those 3 choices. If they don't make choices, then we have to seek them out to find out what they want to take. And that's a deeper, longer process. But as long as they make those 3 choices in PowerSchool, they get one of those choices. And then we're going to continue to score the multi-weeks. We are, the teachers wanted some value. We wanted to be able to show students that we value the work that they put into it. So this is a new process, as they will receive just a basically kind of a rubric scoring for their multi-week explorations. And again, doing that portfolio piece that Beth talked about. Beth, hang on, Beth, your volume's off.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I want to show you a couple of portfolios that are in process, just to let you know that this is our goal with the students, to show them that we value the work that they're putting in on Fridays, and to legitimize this whole process of explorations that are multi-week, that are in-depth, that are actually really rich learning experiences, so that they can show that to higher education learning institutions. So I've gotten permission from a couple of students to share their portfolio. This is Alexi Dana. She is a sophomore, and you can see that she has put together a portfolio that shows all the different explorations she's taken in her 4 different pathways of STEMs and art and humanities and wellness. And so she's created something that shows a description of the exploration that she's taken and some visuals that explain a little bit about what it's about, and then something that gives a little bit of an exploration to whatever college or institution she might be presenting this to. And then she says a little bit about herself on her homepage as well. So this is just a really wonderful way for her to be able to really talk about the importance of the exploration and how she can present that in the future and what she is able to do with her exploration and showing other colleges. So I also wanted to show you a freshman portfolio that's in the very beginning stages. So Alexia is a sophomore, and this one is Charlotte's, and Charlotte is a freshman. She's just gotten started on this as a freshman. She's only taken 2 sessions of multi-week E1s and E2s, but she's gotten a really good start on her portfolio. And as she progresses through her high school career, she's going to be able to add more and more to her portfolio, showing some of the different things that she has been working on as a freshman throughout her career. So that's just a little bit about what we're working on as Exploration Director. That's Katie, and Exploration Advisor. My job is to work with students to try to present this learning experience in the most positive way possible. So we're here to answer any questions that you might have, because we understand that there have been a lot of changes in this 10-year program that is a signature program at the Gregory School, but there are a lot of new things. So we're here, and Dr. Cheryl's here as well, and we would love to take any questions that you guys might have for us.
We've got one in the chat.
Okay.
When do the students work on these portfolios?
Right. So what I've been doing with the students, I've been meeting with the freshman advisories and the sophomore advisories, and I've been going to each advisory in their morning advisory time. There's 15 minutes in the morning, and done some group work with them for the past 6 weeks. These last 2 weeks, I've been working with an advisory at a time, and I will pull 4 to 5 to maybe 6 students from an advisory. This week, I'm working with Coach E's sophomore advisory, and I will pull them into the library during exploration time and just check up with them on their portfolios. They have advisory time to work on their portfolios, as well as any kind of extra time they have during AE, and then I'll be checking in with them occasionally. But my real goal is to be able to sit with each student and say, what's your passion? What are you exploring and finding out about yourself as you do explorations? Are you finding that you're selecting more STEM explorations or more humanities explorations? Let's be more intentional about your choices next time you sit down and choose your 2 and your 4-week explorations for E1 and E2.
Okay, we had another one. Will these portfolios only be created by the upper school students?
That's a great question. The goal is to start with our sophomore class and roll it up until they are seniors. We're not going to ask the juniors and seniors to create portfolios, because that is a lot to add to their already busy schedules. And they are busy thinking about college applications, so they're busy thinking about senior internship. So sophomores and freshmen are the focus right now this semester, and then I'll start working with the 8th graders probably in December or January, and they will also create portfolios so that that can carry through into their high school experience. And then the plan is to move down into all the way down to our 5th graders, so that with this 5th grade class, when they graduate as seniors, they'll have 8 years worth of extended explorations in their portfolio.
Okay, there was a thank you to Dr. Cheryl for all your hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another question here. Why is it that students may in fact always receive 3rd choice, never having the opportunity to do anything in the Fab Lab, as an example?
I'll let Katie address that.
Yeah, I'm happy to speak to that. We do unfortunately have the 1, 2, or 1, 2, and 3 numbered choices, but we've explained to the students they're not ranked. In the system, they're not ranked. We just ask that you find 3 that you're really interested in, and then be, willing and interested and able to take one of those 3 choices that you get. That being said, students are always welcome, and we say this in our upper school meeting, our middle school meetings, all school meetings. They are welcome to communicate with us. I'm happy to receive an email from a student who says, hey, you know what, I have tried to get in the Fab Lab several times. Can you consider me, next time? This is what I'm super interested in. And we want to be sure that students do get the things that they want to, but also if there's 82 kids who want the Fab Lab, we can't just give everybody that choice. So we want to, make sure that there's enough good opportunities and things that they're interested in, that those 3 choices truly are things that they would like to take.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd
See that
like to ask
Sabrina raised her hand. Sabrina, did you have a question?
Yeah, Yeah, I do. So this is coming both as a parent and also as somebody who is involved in running a Friday exploration for the first time. And I was told by my son that when they go in to sign up for the explorations, they don't see a full description of the exploration. That's in a separate section, that when they actually go in to sign up, all they see is the title of the exploration. And this is coming from a junior boy, and he said that most of his friends don't bother to go read the descriptions anymore since it's in a separate place. They simply look for titles they recognize. And as someone running an exploration, I didn't know that. And so the title of our project is Crossing Lines, which would mean nothing to the students. And we only had a few students sign up. So I'm just wondering if his description of the system is accurate. And as someone who's running an exploration, that would have been valuable information to me because I would have made the title more catchy or more descriptive.
Right. Well, I appreciate that feedback because as faculty, we don't get to see the student view on what they see in explorations, and it has changed in various ways, small and big, this year. So we do notify students when the explorations have been posted and when the catalog is out. We ask advisors to make sure they take time to have the students open up that catalog and browse, a week before so that they're really thinking ahead about their options. So that would definitely take more advisor encouragement and checking in that students are actually opening up and reading them. And then I would love to see the description back in the choice bar. That's another PowerSchool feature that I don't know how hard it would be to include. We can definitely add it to the wish list and hope that that can be added back in. But in the meantime, it's great to know that we need to encourage advisors to really check in and make sure students are reading those descriptions. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and for any other parent who's offering an exploration, like I said, it would be valuable information for them to know so that they can craft the title of their exploration in a way that would give a little more information. Yeah.
That's good
Thanks.
feedback. I also
Yeah,
see that Jeannie asked if our explorations are always taught by staff or do you ever have outside professionals? And yes, we do have guest lecturers that come in and offer explorations. It needs to be hosted by a TGS faculty member, but that is something that Katie has been very intentional about reaching out and making those opportunities available to all the many experts that we have in our community that can give so much to our students. So if there is someone that you know, or if you have a desire to offer an exploration to our students, please reach out to Katie. That's part of what her passion is as exploration director.
And Beth, do you see the other one that says if there are 82 kids that are signed up for Fab Lab or interested in Fab Lab, can't you offer it more often or twice during the day?
Yes, that came up in our faculty discussion just these last 2 days. I'll let Katie address that because she's a little more articulate about it.
Oh, I was just going to say, absolutely. We do intend to let teachers know to offer these explorations. I know that there's always a Fab Lab type exploration offered, but certainly one of the next goals on my to-do list is to present faculty with all of the high, interest explorations as they're planning next semester to keep those in mind for re-offering.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Of course.
The portfolios, are those visible to parents then through the kids' Google Classroom? Or how would
Sure.
we look at it?
Yes, you would have to ask your child to share it with you. Right now, each student in the freshman and sophomore class has shared their portfolio with me and with their advisor. And the portfolios are a work in progress because it's something that they're going to continually add on to as they take more and more explorations, E1 and E2, especially those extended week explorations. My message to the students has been, think about how you want to present yourself to someone else. How would you want your portfolio to look? So if you've taken a singleton exploration that you think really portrays something that you're interested in a pathway that you have a passion for, then feel free to add that to your portfolio. So there's a lot of freedom for them to craft something that's going to be very impressive to a college. I've been working with Carrie Eskison, our college counselor, and we are coming up with a plan of how to get those links to their portfolios attached to the school profile or to their transcript. And that is part of the reason that we've instituted this grading system this year, which is new to the students. And it's not just about accountability, but it's also about a way for us to collect data. And that way on freshmen and sophomores, starting with our class of 2027, on their transcript will be exploration, something that tells a score, just like their senior internship will get a either superior or proficient score. They will also get a superior or proficient score for their exploration participation over the years. And this just legitimizes this part of our signature program here at TGS to show that it's something that we take seriously and that it's a really important part of every student's educational experience at the Gregory School.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We have another one. Would a student be allowed to host an exploration with a teacher?
Yes, that happens not often, but we really love when it happens. They are, again, I let them know, just email me. I can connect them with a teacher if they don't have someone in mind. We do have several happening. Right now we have a gratitude bracelet making exploration that a fifth grader is co-hosting. We have one about the creating latkes and a little bit about Jewish culture that another fifth grade student is co-hosting. I know that several students have co-hosted some speech and debate explorations, a middle school speech and debate exploration hosted by high school speech and debate students. So absolutely, we would so welcome student input participation in co-hosting these.
Thank you.
My son made egg rolls with Mr. Ma last year. It was super cool. Ryder did and a friend.
Doesn't grading explorations add stress and work to this event?
Well, that's an interesting question. It depends probably on who you ask. Part of the rationale for adding the grading to the exploration process was to make it more accountable for students. And many teachers were asking for that accountability piece for students that maybe didn't come and didn't notify a teacher that they were going to be absent or just didn't show up. And there's a lot of preparation that goes into creating an exploration. And then if students do not show, it really reflects poorly on their participation effort. So in many ways, it's been positive for a lot of teachers to be able to have that accountability piece. I think for the students, it may just take a little bit of getting used to, but it does not affect their GPA. There is no reflection there is no letter grade assigned. So there shouldn't be any stress in that respect. It's only a piece to show that was effort given in this exploration. And it also gives us data so that when we assign a score on their transcript as seniors, just like their senior internship has a score of proficient or superior, we have some data to be able to assign that score on their transcript.
Okay. And I don't know if you saw the follow-up that maybe pass-fail would appear less stressful.
That is definitely a consideration, although it's not really about passing or failing. It's more about the kind of effort that was given, as in the senior internship. Again, I hate to keep referring back to that, but I feel like we're in the same category because it's not going to be part of their GPA. It's not a graded course. It's just something that we want to show the amount of time that students spent on Fridays pursuing an interest in a pathway and a passion, and whether there was significant effort given.
And we have one more. How would co-hosting for a student happen? How does that process work?
They just would need to email me, let me know that they're interested, and or talk to the teacher. So sometimes I will get an email from, a student and a teacher saying, we've discussed this, we would like to co-host this exploration. Here are the dates we're thinking about, here are the grade levels, and I'll just help them coordinate that. So I'm really the contact person for that, but certainly they can reach out to a teacher and plan ahead of time, make a connection first before that happens. And then we'll take it from there as far as offering it.
I have another question, if I may.
Yes.
And then I know that we're running over a little, so any last questions I see, there's another one here, but one question for you is, do all faculty offer explorations, or do you find yourself short on explorations. I mean, I know there are some labs and things like math lab or things like that, or maybe language that some faculty offer, which seems more of a fallback for a lot of students rather than, you know, if they need extra help in something versus, ooh, I'm really excited about doing this. So do you find yourself coming up short with explorations that are not, say, those types of extra support type of explorations, if that makes sense?
I think those extra support type are pretty rare. We really do try to encourage faculty to host things that are different and dynamic and unique and experiences that students are really looking for. Again, we encourage students to provide feedback on what they would like to have offered. It is, our intention to offer things that are engaging and interesting to students, as well as, things that teachers can feasibly present. And then as far as numbers of explorations, we have a pretty set formula for who gets what prep time or when, a certain number of teachers have off, so that we always have enough explorations for students to have spaces.
And one last one here. Can a student work with a nonprofit organization and help raise awareness and funds for it?
I'll let you address that, Katie.
Well, that's a great question. I don't have a definite answer on that, other than maybe Allison, or Amy can speak to that a little bit better than me as far as any kind of stipulations with working with a different outside organization. But as far as bringing in, some kind of an activity that's a jacket drive or a book drive or something, I can't imagine why we would say no. So Amy, is there anything we would need to consider?
Sure, it's a very good question. I would say certainly working with a not-for-profit is a great thing, but not raising money. What we really want the emphasis to be is on the service itself. So that's where, students being able to contribute their service in the community. If it was just, it's October, if it was a Susan G. Komen race or walk or something, the service would be, working the registration table or handing out bottles of water or that kind of thing, rather than raising money for it. So that's really where we would want the service to be. But again, Katie, you talked about a coat drive or something like that, certainly.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to make this the last one, and I'm going to suggest perhaps that after this, if they have additional questions, that those questions could go to you, Beth, or Katie. Would that be accurate?
Absolutely. I think if it's more student-centered, you could send it to me. If it's more logistics-centered, that would be more of Katie's arena, since she's our exploration director and I'm working directly with students.
Okay,
Looks
so-
like the last, I'm sorry, go ahead, Katie.
No, go ahead, Beth. You see it. Go
Okay,
ahead.
during advisory at the beginning of the year, numerous parents voiced their complaint from their students. Then the discussion turned to teachers' frustrations that they design a course and no one shows up. That is a common thread and is one of the reasons that we instituted the accountability piece of the grading. Katie, did you want to add anything to that?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This has been very informative. I mean, even for somebody who's been here several years, because these are constantly evolving, it's been very helpful to understand all that's been going on, all those behind the scenes activities that we are not aware of. We just hear from our kid. And so thank you very much to both of you for all of this. And I want to thank everybody who's attended tonight. I know we've run over. Are there any last questions other than about explorations? Anything else that came up tonight that we need to address?
I have
and if
just
not-
one
Yeah, go
quick
for it, Jill.
point of order here. At the beginning, we talked about approving the minutes, but did we actually vote on it?
Oh, I did step
don't
1 and
think
2,
we
but
did.
not 3.
Okay.
Can we take a vote on those minutes that we had seconded? All those in favor? Anyone want to raise objections?
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you so much for catching that, Jill. All right, so I want to thank everybody who came tonight, and I want to remind you that if there are any questions that are lingering from tonight, feel free to email us. If it's not a question for us, but for somebody else who presented, we will be happy to forward that on to them. And please mark your calendars for our meeting next month, which will be November 6th. That's going to be an in-person meeting right after drop off at 8:30 in the boardroom again. We will also attempt to stream that and record it, hopefully with a little bit cleaner results this time. So thank you all. And we will adjourn.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks. Have a
Thank
good
you.